course, this will be the sixth time that South Africa's in South Africa's democratic dispensation that voters will elect leadership and public representatives at metropolitan, district, and local level. So these are, of course, the local government elections. And yet again, we've got another political party that is launching as the people. Good morning and welcome to Power Zone.
Good morning, my sister, and good morning to the listeners of Power FM.
All right, so let's just start off with, give us details about this particular party. You will be contesting, of course, the 2021 local government elections in October, but what exactly is this party about?
Well, as the people was started last year in January, and we decided to form the party as particularly young people to give an alternative voice and provide alternative ideas to society, because we've realized that for us in society to experience any form of change in the conditions of the people, we need to introduce an alternative way of thinking, not only try to offer alternative solutions without offering alternative ways of thinking and alternative ideas. So we decided to form the party so that we can be able to put forth ideas that can be able to actually impact some change in our society.
And what kind of change are you planning on bringing to the country?
Well, we are not particularly planning to bring change, but we are planning to teach and inspire people to be the change they want to see themselves. So the change that we need, of course, we need a change in the thought of our people. I think most people, if you look at how the political system is organized, people have been taught to depend on leaders for everything. Basically, people have been taught to be represented by leaders. If you look at the prevailing political system, which is representative democracy, it dictates that people must elect representatives who will take care of their interests on their behalf. So we need to introduce an alternative way of thinking where people become independent, where people take responsibility for their lives, where people do things for themselves.
And with this particular political party, I understand that you're saying that it really is about, the message is around people doing things for themselves and not necessarily relying on government. But are there any rallies that are taking place? How can people know more about you guys?
Well, we are not planning to do any rallies at this moment. I think our approach is more of engaging people on a one-on-one basis, because the ideas that we are introducing do not require a leader to stand in front of a mass of people and throw slogans and chants, but it requires critical thinking. It requires one to apply themselves to the ideas which we are speaking of. I mean, we are talking an entirely new way of thinking. It requires to change fundamentally how people think and how they view society. So we do not intend to hold such political events as rallies, but we do get together with people from different communities in groups and meetings where we present the ideas and we get to engage, and that is how we interact with society and people that we intend to rally behind the message of us the people, which is essentially equal freedom and well-being for all.
So what exactly then are you proposing to South Africans? Why should they vote for you in these local government elections?
Well, I think in these local government elections, as the people is the only party which seeks to use the opportunity that we have in the form of democracy to actually take away the power and authority of decision making from local government to the people, to take away power from the municipalities, from the municipal councils, and restore it to communities. We're speaking essentially direct democracy. We are speaking self-governance, where communities get to make decisions on issues that affect them instead of electing leaders that will make decisions on their behalf. So we're introducing a system where communities will be in charge of their own services. They'll be, instead of paying taxes to a municipality and allowing the municipality to centrally control those taxes and be responsible for services, people will be able to deliver services on their own using their taxes.
I have to ask, following that particular response, but before I ask you this, the power listener, you can of course get in touch with us, 0861 987 000. If you've got any questions for the spokesperson of Us the People, it is a new political party that actually, well, it was actually launched last year, so to speak. It started last year, and they will be contesting in the local government elections that are coming up. So if you'd like to also just find out more about this political party and what they really bring into the table for you as a voter, 0861 987 000. You can tweet us at PowerFM987 at @SehomoAgri_, #PowerZone. So following that particular response that you just gave, I just wonder if I understand that you say that you want to give the power to the people within communities. But surely there needs to be a leader within those communities to assist communities in moving forward and for their lives to be better.
Well, in terms of communities and organizing society, there can never be a leader or a single individual who can take responsibility for taking people forward. We need collective action from people. We cannot expect one person to be an expert in all aspects of society. We cannot expect one person to provide water and at the same time provide electricity, provide housing, provide all the services that are necessary. We need collective action from all members of the society. We need collective action from all members of the community. So each person in the community must have a responsibility to contribute to make their community better. We cannot expect a single person to make the whole collective better in any way. I mean, that is the failure of the current system to expect, for example, a mayor of a particular city to fix a pothole in a community that it does not even go to, in a community that it does not even know. If he does not pass there with his car, then he will not care. We will need people from that particular community to fix that particular pothole for themselves, because it does not essentially affect the mayor in any way. So people who are affected by issues locally should be able to decide and to take the responsibility of fixing their own issues.
It is 12:30 right here on Power FM. You are tuned into Power Zone. My name is Moafi. We are in conversation with Dirileto Mati. He's the spokesperson of Us the People. Dirileto, you know what you're saying is quite interesting, because in the Free State, in Harrismith to be specific, there are communities there that are already doing exactly what you are saying. They're fixing things themselves. I remember being there. I remember seeing them cutting down trees, taking the weeds out on the street, trying to fix those particular potholes. Because Libana, they say that they've gotten to a point where they can't allow for somebody else to do this for them. So they decided they're going to do it for themselves. So I'm trying to understand if there's a already communities that are doing that. How is us, the people, going to encourage people to do that? Because we do know that a lot of people in South Africa still rely heavily on government to assist them with certain things. So how is us, the people, going to change people's mindset?
Well, the only way people's mindsets can change is for them to see that this is actually possible. And I mean, as you are saying, this is happening everywhere. I mean, not in terms of services that government is disappointing people with, but in terms of everything else that I mean, to bury people, in our communities, we do not need the assistance of government, but rather they have the society which do not involve government. So why can we get together to bury each other but not be able to get together to deliver services to ourselves? So I mean, it is happening in many different communities where even the courts have taken responsibility from the local governments due to their failure and actually given the responsibility to community associations, to community trusts to actually deliver services such as water, to actually deliver services such as road maintenance. So it is happening in many different communities where people are doing things for themselves, and it is only for us, the people, to actually realize that we do not need elected politicians in any form. I mean, as leaders who proclaim to be representatives of people, they do not offer any special or particular skill that can develop society. I mean, these politicians, if you look, they only offer words. I mean, they only offer nothing skillful, nothing special. There's nothing special about Cyril Ramaphosa. He's not a businessman. He's not he doesn't offer us anything besides standing in front of a TV and speaking. So we need people who are able to offer skills in all communities. There are people who can offer different things, and they need to be able to contribute to the development of their communities. People can be able to provide water for themselves. People can be able to provide services such as road maintenance, services such as the maintenance of public spaces, services such as electricity provision. We do not need a centralized, corporatized system that is even culminating into gross corruption that we are seeing today. It is because of the centralized manner of the government where we are seeing politicians who we do not really know what they do, who actually embezzle taxpayers' money instead of delivering services, because we cannot expect them to deliver services that they do not even know how to deliver. They do not have those skills. They do not have those expertise. Those skills and expertise are in the people in our communities, and the people in our communities know their needs, so they should be able to deliver the services to meet their needs for themselves, not rely on particular politicians who do not even reside in their communities.
Where's the money going to come from? But before you answer that, Bandile in Orlando West. Good morning. You've got a question or a comment for Tireleto?
No, what I wanted to know about Tireleto, how is he going to deal, if he were president, how was he going to deal with the issue of foreigners who are all over our country and the land issue? How was he going, or how is he going to deal with it? The foreigners and the land that was stolen from us.
All right, Bandile, thank you so much. Tireleto, if you can please respond to that.
Well, in terms of the land, I mean, everyone now has access to land. Land is there's no one who should be able to own land and deny people access to land. So the land that is available in the country, I mean, we all find land here in the country. When we are born, we are all born onto the earth, and we find the land here, we find the water here, we find the sun here, we find the air here. The same way we deal with the issue of air and water is the same way we deal with the issue of land. No one must be able to say that I'm owning this air, I'm owning this land, because we find the land here as people and we live it here. So everyone in communities must be able to have access to land for residential purposes. Everyone must be able to have access to land to produce and to take part in any activities that the community desires to partake in. So in terms,
I'm sorry, I have to come in here and ask you. You are aware that there are people that are still fighting for their land. So Bandile was asking, what is the people, the actual political parties, what are you going to do to ensure that the land is brought back to those people that are still fighting to get their land?
well, in terms of land, I mean, when we speak of land that was stolen and that is being fought for, land is not a movable good. So it was a matter of people took the authority to decide who must stay where, and they took the authority to control the distribution of land. So in terms of that, I mean, as a municipality, when we are saying that we are giving people the responsibility to make decisions on their own behalf, it includes land. I mean, all land that is available to municipalities will be essentially in the hands of people. The people will be in making decisions in terms of the distribution of that land and in terms of the usage of that land. But essentially, I mean, all South Africans have a place where they stay now. So everyone has access to land now. It is a matter of people within their communities distributing the land better so that everyone can have access to residential space. Everyone can have access to space to produce and any other activity that they so wish to participate in. So in terms of foreigners, I mean, as South Africans, I mean, we know the local South Africans, the natives of South Africa. And I mean, in terms of an approach of governance, I think communities where we come from must come first. I don't think that we can say that in Soweto we must have people from elsewhere who can come to Soweto and do business, who can come to Soweto and control politics without necessarily giving first preference to the people of Soweto. The people of Soweto must be the ones who actually welcome people from outside and offer them what they have to offer based on the skills and services that those people from outside have to offer to people of that particular community. So I don't think that we can expect to provide a charity for people who are running away from their own problems wherever they come from, and we seek to provide solutions for them. I think our particular focus will be on providing solutions for people who are actually born here and who grew up in their particular communities. So South Africans will be the ones who decide to put themselves first. I mean, that one is quite clear.
All right. Mushaya in Tembisa, you've been holding for quite some time. Good morning and welcome to Power Zone.
Good morning, my sister.
Okay, how are you?
Listen, I think the guy is on the butt. I'm just going to give my 2 cents in terms of giving advice. I feel like he's a little bit misguided, but through our time, as he gained experience, I mean, he will be able to see what you call the light at the end of the tunnel. For me, this is what I'm picking up, and I'm happy that we have a young man like him who wants to take ownership of their lives and take their community first. think what he's trying to do is trying to promote what we call active citizenship. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like it's a civil organization more than a political organization, and which is good because now he's going to be now encouraging community members to take ownership of their life. You know what I mean? So, and also the reason why I keep on feeling that this is more of a civil organization because now I like what he mentioned about the role of a politician. Because if you look in South Africa, actually the role of a politician is being sort of like polluted because now politicians are supposed to be drawing policies for us, but instead now they're also being involved in the management and the running of things. That's why he kept on mentioning that they don't have the skills. Yes, he's right. Politicians are responsible for government drafting of legislation and creating a conducive environment for us to participate in. And then that's where he comes in with his new way of thinking and saying, okay, now let's promote civil organizations, let's promote active citizenship so that people now can take responsibilities for their own lives. So, my man, I'm encouraging you. Go. I'm encouraging you. I'm behind you. I'm happy with what you're doing. Go ahead with it. And promote it and start small in your area. So don't go big. Start small in your area. Change the mindset of your community. I can assure the sky is the limit. As you grow, you'll understand better. And I see you as well in the future in the parliament, maybe being somebody bigger. You know what I mean? So go ahead. I'm happy. I'm not discouraged. I'm actually encouraged. But I feel you need more guidance.
All right. Thank you so much, Messiah and Tim. Would you like to respond to that?
Yes, I mean, we appreciate people who actually are welcoming of new ideas. I mean, and as my brother is saying, I mean, this thing cannot happen from a central level. I think the change needs to happen within the people, within individuals first, within households first, within communities, and that is when it will even grow into encompassing the whole society. So, I mean, as individuals, we ought to be the change we want to see. I cannot expect society to change if I cannot change myself. So I think we need people who are welcoming to new ways of thinking, and we need people who are welcoming to changing themselves so that they can be able to contribute to changing society.
I just want to ask you, are you focusing just on local elections or will you also be going for the national election?
Well, what is presented to us now is an opportunity in the local government elections. So, of course, we cannot start at a national level. So, we're focused on local government for now. We're focused on communities locally. We're focused on people in their particular communities taking charge of their services, taking charge of their lives. And that, of course, when we have enough communities doing that, then it will be happening nationally inevitably. So it is something that we see as a perfect turnout would happen if it happens from a local level. So, and that is the opportunity that we have with this coming elections, to put the ideas to communities to actually take care of their lives from a local level. Then of course it will culminate into something bigger.
And just tell us, with us, the people, the political party, what is the distinguishing policies that are totally different from those adopted by other political parties?
Well, I think that is the essence of the conversation since we have started. I mean, we do not present ourselves as representatives. We do not say that, no, this party is bad, elect us to the better party, so we'll be better able to deliver services for people. We cannot come here and promise people water. We cannot come here and promise people electricity. We do not want to promise people things. I mean, we want to teach people and show them that they can be able to do things for themselves. We do not want to take the responsibility of taking care of people. We want people to learn to take care of themselves. I think all other existing parties want to be elected into office so that they can do things for people. They say that they can do better, they can deliver jobs better, they can give people land better, they can do things better. But we've seen that in the history of the country where there was a change in leadership, there's nothing essentially that changed. I mean, if you look at Johannesburg, has been turning hands over the ANC, DA, and all those coalition politics. But essentially, in terms of access to services, in terms of access to well-being for people, nothing has changed essentially. So we need to offer something different, and I think we're the only party that is not presenting ourselves as messiahs. Instead, we're trying to enlighten people to the fact that the power is within them. So we do not have the vanguardism approach that is adopted by many parties which want to represent people. We want people to present themselves and present solutions for themselves.
So, were you part of any other parties, or the people that are the leaders within this party, were they part of any other parties before you started as the people? So, is there some kind of experience that you come with?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we are activists, and we come from a long road of learning in politics. I think if participating in existing parties that came before us, the ANC, the EFF, and all other different organizations, we have come to the realization that this is actually not working. I think without that experience, we would not have become who we are today. I think we needed to experience and participate in those 20th and 19th century politics to be able to discover that we need actually new politics so that people can actually realize the real liberation that we seek to offer. I mean, if you look at politics, how it has been happening, even the freedom that is claimed to have been achieved in the country, for as long as there are leaders who are elected into authority, who take decisions on behalf of people, people will never be free. So that is what we have learned in our experience in politics, in the ANC, in the EFF, in the different political organizations where our activists have participated before we came together to actually say that we do not need leaders, we need ourselves as people.
Is there any particular reason why, okay, I think you've just answered, but is there any particular reason why you branched out of those other political parties?
Well, I think it is a matter of growth. I mean, we cannot sit in the same position for too long and expect change. I mean, as people, we are. It is natural for people to grow. When we get exposed to things, we grow and we explore new things. So I think in terms of the experiences that we have in the different parties before forming us the people, we see the step that we took as growth in our personal and political lives.
So do you by any chance think that you have got quite a good stronghold, and for there to be for you guys to grow, of course, with these local government elections?
Absolutely. I mean, that is why we're contesting. We're not contesting to lose. We're contesting with particular focus on some areas where we're sure that with these areas we'll be able to exemplify what we are actually saying. We are contesting in places where we know that the communities are familiar with our activists and will be able to respond positively to our activists. I mean, the communities do know their own people. We cannot expect to contest and win in communities where we do not have activists that are known by the communities where they come from. So we are looking at particular areas within the metros and putting focus there where we're sure that we'll be able to make an impact, and where we're sure that our people are familiar with us, our people know us, and will actually be able to exemplify what we ideally speak of.
It is 8 minutes before 1 o'clock. You are tuned into Power Zone. You can give us a call, 0861-987-000. If you've got any question or comment for Direleto Mati, he's the spokesperson of Us the People. It is a new political party that will be contesting the local government elections. Direleto, before I let you go, what is your message to your followers, your members, those that that would actually be interested in being part of this party?
Well, our message has always been consistent that we seek to restore sovereignty and freedom to people. We seek to take authority from elected leaders into the hands of people. So we encourage particularly young people, very young people, to participate in the system of democracy. I mean, this democracy that we have is the only way where we are presented with an opportunity to make any forms of decisions in terms of the governance of our lives. So we encourage young people to take the elections quite seriously and to register to vote, and I mean, we do not expect young people 2000 and everyone else to lose their political virginity to parties like ANC and the EFF or any other party that has always been repeating 19th century politics. So we are offering ideas of the 21st century to people who actually can accept change and participate in the process of democracy and participate in the elections that will be on the 27th of October. I mean, we do not expect that the elections will be postponed because it is actually unconstitutional. So we encourage people to participate in elections and familiarize themselves with alternative forms of governance and take responsibility for their own lives.
All right, Direleto Mati, thank you so much for your time and for this conversation about us, the people, and what the plan is for the South African people. And of course, going into local government elections, we wish you all the best. And yeah, let us know how things go for you at those local government elections.
All right, thank you, my sister. I'm sure it will go very well.
Thank you so much.